After I posted a video about Grace Community Church and their harassment of one of their former members, it received some attention thanks to Reddit.com, and I got some interesting comments on it. There was one person who was outraged that I was saying all of this about a religion, as if that's something you're just not supposed to do. And a lot of people have this inexplicable attitude that religion somehow needs to be insulated from criticism, that for some reason religion is a topic that's just off limits. But I really don't see why, because this isn't the case with other subjects. It's perfectly okay to dispute someone's views on economics or foreign policy, and religion really has no excuse here, because if the major religions of the world are true, then they are supported by the all-powerful creator of the universe, and yet they can't handle criticism from mere mortals like us? That makes no sense. If we're supposed to refrain from ever criticizing a person's religious views, this requires us to tacitly accept that, okay, well, maybe all of them are equally right, and it's just a difference of opinion. But this is clearly not the case. A Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, a Hindu, and a Scientologist cannot all hold correct religious views. These religions are all contradictory. For example, alien psychiatrists did not invade the Earth 2,000 years before it was created by God. They can't all be correct. At least some of them must be wrong, if not all of them. And to say that the rest of us are just supposed to ignore something so blatant out of some sense of deference or politeness is to tell us to abandon our capacity for reasoning. And I am not willing to do that, and there are many others like me who value reason and will not give it up just to be nice. Anyway, this person further said that I can't tell a Christian that it's stupid to follow the laws of the Bible, and that I'm breaking a law and discriminating against Christians by calling them stupid. Okay, so does that mean I can tell a non-Christian that it's stupid to follow the laws of the Bible? You know, there's not a separate set of laws for what you can say to a Christian or a non-Christian, and I can tell a Christian that it is stupid to follow the laws of the Bible. Although it's a massive oversimplification of the points I presented in the original video, I have the right to say that to a Christian, just as they have the right to call me stupid. And if anyone said that I was stupid for not following the laws of the Bible, I wouldn't claim that they were somehow breaking a law or discriminating against me. I would respond to them and explain why I disagreed. I would not accuse them of breaking a law. That's absurd. And it actually took a few tries to get this person to explain exactly which law I'm allegedly breaking. It turns out they're from Norway, and Section 135A of the Norwegian Penal Code prohibits hate speech, which is defined as publicly making statements that threaten or ridicule someone, or incite hatred, persecution, or contempt for someone due to their skin color, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, or philosophy of life. Well, I don't live in Norway, and I'm glad because I'd rather not have to follow this ridiculous law. The concept of hate speech is not useful. In fact, it's harmful. Its only purpose is to isolate certain expressions of free speech and then claim that there's something other than free speech. The concept of hate speech exists only to reduce your freedom. Hate speech laws mean your government has decided that some ideas are so hazardous that you do not have the right to express them. And that is unacceptable. We are a society of adults, and we can take responsibility for ourselves. We do not need to be protected from ideas or from words. What is the difference between a government telling a person they don't have the right to say something and a government telling you that you don't have the right to hear what this person is saying? Hate speech laws mean the government treats its own citizens like children. They've decided there are some things we're just not mature enough to hear, and so they criminalize such expressions. If the government wants to protect me at the price of reducing everyone's freedom, then I do not want that protection. I'd rather have the freedom, thank you very much. And to say that I was somehow discriminating against Christians in my original video is not correct. the woman who was being harassed by Grace Community Church is also a Christian. This was a case of Christians attacking another Christian. If I were actually saying all Christians are stupid, which I did not, that would be a statement against everyone involved in the situation. But I was not evaluating these people by their beliefs. I was evaluating them by their behavior. One of them decided to peacefully leave a church that she disagreed with, and the rest of them decided to harass her and publicize her private life. By the way, if you're going to argue that criticizing this behavior means criticizing being a Christian, that argument will backfire tremendously, because it presumes that merely being a Christian means you're going to go around harassing people for not following your interpretation of the Bible. And isn't that discriminating against Christians? Because not all Christians do that sort of thing. To imply something like that is no better than saying all Christians are stupid. And why wouldn't that fall under the same hate speech laws? If it didn't, that would mean it's okay to say Christians are a gang of uncivilized busybodies intent on forcing their beliefs on everyone else, but whatever you do, just don't call them stupid. It's plain to see how silly this is. If you're going to tell me I'm not allowed to say Christians are stupid, then don't imply that Christians are assholes in the next sentence. That's unbelievably hypocritical. Unfortunately, this idiot phenomenon of mischaracterizing any criticism of religion as hate speech is not limited to inane comments on YouTube. A couple weeks ago, Pastor Rick Warren of Saddleback Church posted a video on his blog as a message to his congregation. This was largely a response to criticism of Warren after Barack Obama selected him to deliver the invocation at his inauguration. Warren had previously compared marriage between two consenting adults of the same sex to a man marrying a child. In the video, he claimed that he never said this, despite video evidence to the contrary. He then complained about how he was being accused of hate speech for saying this. He said, quote, "Free speech has to be free speech for everybody, even if I don't like it. It's in our Constitution. Some people today feel that if you disagree with them, then that's hate speech. Free speech is for everybody." End quote. I agree with him about that because he's right. But later in the video, Rick Warren says that the criticism he's heard is, quote, "hateful slander and really a lot of hate speech." Well, that's a strange thing to say. So it's not hate speech when you compare consensual civil marriage between two adults to statutory rape. But it is hate speech when someone else says you were wrong to say that. It seems like Rick Warren wants to eat his cake and have it too. And really, he doesn't need to be eating any more cake. And he should understand that freedom of speech does not mean freedom from criticism. There is no such thing as freedom from criticism, because criticism does not infringe on any of your freedoms. If someone says something that you disagree with, that doesn't mean you get to accuse them of hate speech and claim that it's illegal for them to say that. And if you think that what you're saying needs to be protected by law from everyone else's criticism, that does not speak well for the strength of your position. The proper reaction to free speech that you disagree with is not to censor it by moving it into some legal ghetto of hate speech. The proper reaction is to respond by exercising your own right to free speech. By the way, religion is just about the last institution that should ever encourage us to tumble down that slippery slope of redefining free speech as hate speech. For example, Rick Warren and his church believe that there is an all-powerful deity that will send you to be tortured forever if you do not believe in it and follow its various laws. Not only do they believe in this deity, they worship it, and they find themselves in complete agreement with its actions and its ethics, no matter how abominable. They actually preach that this deity's behavior is somehow morally correct. Now, tell me, what's more hateful than that? If we're going to start defining hate speech, then what better place to start?